Hello and welcome back to the On Wrestling and to an audition of Raw Out of 10. And just days after the explosive WrestleMania kickoff event in Vegas, WWE rolled into the Rupp Arena in Lexington for another packed episode of Raw featuring Cody Rhodes and lots more on the card as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into things. And we kick things off with New Day and Jey Uso taking on Imperium. And of course the budding rivalry between Jey and Gunther was represented at the top of the show. And the six-man tag had plenty of in-ring quality throughout, with Gunther, Ludwig and Vinci controlling the pace and isolating Kofi. However, hot tag was made to Uso by the former champ, and he sparked a comeback that featured the first in-ring altercation between Jey and Gunther. Uso got the better of Gunther, taking him out of the match and delivering a top-rope splash to Vinci to secure the win. After an energetic opener, it was the crowd hot throughout, but Uso and Gunther together brought the action. And yeah, when we get this match, presumably at the Elimination Chamber, it's going to be one of the hottest on the card. Much of this can be attributed to the work that both men have done, even with Gunther seemingly unbeatable as champ. So yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 for me. It was great stuff. Before it's time for Bobby Lashley versus Big Bronson Reed in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and it was Lashley who will join Drew and Randy in the match. The Almighty become a force of nature in Reed to put him down and secure a spear to get the win. A mostly okay match. It highlighted Reed's ability to dominate any bout while proving that Lashley can fight from underneath and get the win. With that said, Reed has to win at some point. There's a concept of the monster who just fails will not be taken seriously. Fans know how often he has these matches, and more importantly how often he loses them. Ultimately, the greatest attribute is his role will cease if he does not pick up at least a quality win here or there, and that didn't happen on Monday night. So yeah, I thought the match was fun. Big win for Bobby, 7 out of 10. But yeah, I thought especially with the match taking place in Australia, Reed will win this one, but clearly not, but maybe we'll get in somehow. Cody then maybe challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, but he will not have to go alone against the Tribal Chief and The Rock. Seth Rollins interrupted his address of the universe, pledging his allegiance to Rhodes and fighting the greatest either of them have known in their time with the company. What exists on the other side is very dark. Rollins told his long-time rival, warning of what happens if he fails to finish the story at Mania. The Visionary said he would be Rhodes' shield, a clear reference to his, of course, stage teaming with Roman. It was a brilliant promo from Rollins, who laid out the next chapter, establishing a partnership between them. And yeah, it looks like we'll get a tag match at WrestleMania, potentially on night 1 before Cody Roman on night 2. So yeah, that all makes sense. And yeah, like I said, a really good promo. Before it's time for Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark in an Elimination Chamber qualifier, and Liv Morgan got the W here. Stark dominated with her athleticism and intensity, but Morgan proved resilient, fighting from underneath and delivering the Oblivion for the victory. The big story here was Morgan's quest for revenge against Rhea Ripley, who injured her shoulder and put her out of action. It was clear from the get-go she was going to win to further the narrative, but the match did enough to highlight Stark as a legitimate threat. Morgan is a former champion with an easily identifiable goal that makes sense and proves the Elimination Chamber a potential winner outside of Becky Lynch. She's also likeable and over with the fans. For that reason, she was the right one to get over here, no matter how good Stark is. So yeah, I thought it was alright. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 from me. Just not much more really to it than that. Before it's time for R-Truth versus JD McDonough, with the threat of a beatdown at the hands of the Judgment Day lingering, R-Truth squared off with JD in singles competition. Despite controlling the majority of the match, it was McDonough who was able to put him down with his new finisher, the Devil Inside, for the win. A post-match beating by Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor concluded with DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa making the save for Truth and furthering their rivalry with the heels all over the tag team titles. The match was mostly forgettable, with Truth's character work taking centre stage before the impressive finisher from his opponent. The arrival of Gargano and Ciampa suggests there's still an unfinished business that may present itself with a 6-man tag match next week. But yeah, I think this story is just so entertaining. It continued here really. So obviously it's not groundbreaking stuff, but it's just good fun, and that's what we need on 3-hour show. So yeah, 6 out of 10. For Becky Lynch, insisted she would win the Women's Elimination Chamber match and go on to WrestleMania 40 to challenge Rhea Ripley. Expect the Women's World Champion still has to get past Nia, something of the irresistible force reminded the man of. Ripley took exception though and rushed the ring. Scuffle ensued, ending with Lynch and the Australian clearing Jax out of the squared circle and teasing a tense stare down. It was a fine way to continue building up to what feels like the inevitable Lynch-Ripley title match at Mania. And yeah, the only worry is what it does to kind of Nia Jax, but I think she's done so well in recent weeks. It's kind of built up credit, and Lynch was fantastic here, bringing in real emotion to the promo. She reiterated how devoted she is to the industry despite what it's cost her. Yeah, moving on then to the next match, and that's LA Knight versus Ivar in a qualifier, and LA Knight got the win here. The Viking Raider showed out as he has countless times during his singles run. He proved he could hang with a main eventer. and came within seconds of beating the megastar. However, failed Doom from the top rope, open draw for Knight to hit the blunt force trauma and get the win. It would not have been a surprise if AJ Styles had gotten involved and cost Knight the win, given the P1's downfall on Friday night, but he survived Ivar to ensure his plans in another high profile main event. So yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me. Like I said, it could have gone either way. I wouldn't have been mad either way, to be honest, but Knight gets the win. Obviously the feud with AJ could well continue inside Elimination Chamber, so yeah, that all makes sense. 6 out of 10. Before it's time for Sami Zayn versus Nakamura, and Zayn's quest to prove himself as a legitimate contender took a big hit with another big loss, this time to Nakamura, albeit with some interference. Zayn fought his way back into the match on more than one occasion, showcasing the trademark gutsiness that helped make him one of the most beloved superstars of this generation. Late in the match, an appearance by Drew McIntyre allowed Nakamura to capitalise on the distraction. He delivered a Kinshasa to the back of Zayn's head. To win, may not have repeated their 2016 NXT Classic, but it was still pretty. And yeah, the post-match beat down by the heels and the arrival of Cody Rhodes' backup for Zayn was a nice touch and added the heat to the American Nightmare showdown with McIntyre on next week's show. So yeah, on the whole, we get 7 out of 10 from me. There's different stories flowing from each angle, and that's what we want here, really. And yeah, a really good match as well. And yeah, definitely intrigued to see where it all build up to next week. And overall, Raw this week gets 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I thought this week's Raw was really good, actually. Lots of decent matches on the card. For example, the main event was really good. The Elimination Chamber qualifiers were really good. I think Chamber's starting to take shape as well. And you can also see the long-term direction building to WrestleMania in the card. And that's exactly what we want on Raw, even though we are still a while out from Mania. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.